So if you got this chapter 12, say amen. Amen. So let's go. Therefore, we also, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising his shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. For consider him who endured such hostility from sinners against himself, lest you become weary and discouraged in your soul. You have not resisted to bloodshed, striving against sin. And you have you not forgotten the exhortation which speak to us as sons? My son, do not despise the chastening of the Lord, nor be discouraged when you are rebuked by him. For whom the Lord loves, he chastens, and whom he scourges, even a son he receives. Yes. Let me have a seat right there. Amen. Hallelujah. You may have a seat right there. As I was trying to find something that God wanted me to work on, this is where he took me. He took me to Hebrews. And at the beginning of this chapter 12, it said, therefore. Yeah. So when you say therefore, that was something before this. That's right. Come on. So before this, we was in chapter 11. That's why he brought us from chapter 11 to therefore, to remember what happened in chapter 11. Yes. Chapter 11 is the faith chapter. Right. We got all the people that we're supposed to look at from faith to faith. They brought us through. They trust God. And they received what they were supposed to receive, but they never saw what we see. They never saw Jesus. Come on. They just believed in God, and they just believed in God till their time was up. But we seen Jesus manifest in our time. Right. So because we have what they didn't have, they was faithful with what they had to work with. And God worked with them. Yeah. So if you have accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior, you must deal with trials and tribulations. Yeah. If you made that decision, if you said, Lord, come into my life, I surrender my will for your will, right then you were going to get some trials and tribulations. Right. Satan wasn't going to let you have a good time. You had your good time before you came to him. At that point in time, he was going to try to offset your belief in God any way he could. So that's why he said in his word, he said we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses. And I was thinking about witnessing. People that were before us, I used to think they was cheering us on. But they wasn't cheering us on. It was for us to look at. All right. It was for us to see how they went through what they did and receive what they didn't see. See, we having to get to new covenant. We seen Jesus go to the cross. We know about him bleeding for our sin and redeeming us from hell, damnation, and all the places that we were going if he hadn't came. Their hope was to see him. We got to do that. In our time, the New Testament speaks of the Old Testament. Everything that was in the Old Testament came true in the New Testament. We got to see Jesus. We got to know he walked on this earth for 33 years. We got to know that he healed, set free, delivered all kinds of diseases. We got to know that he was who he said he was. He had 12 disciples. One, he had betrayed him. He knew that he was going to betray him. But he walked with him anyway. Because that's his position. His position, Judas, was to betray him. And he let him keep his position. Because without Judas, without Judas, there's no salvation. That's right. We need our Judas. Some of us got some Judas. Keep it close to you. But they're going to bring you your glory. And all they're doing is just setting you up. God put them in your life so they can just keep backbiting you and coming at you from all kind of angles. You got your Judases. Everybody needs a Judas. If they're going to be in the Word of God, get you a Judas. Because they're going to take you to your glory. I just need to say that to you. So as we look at this great cloud, this particular writer, they say it was Paul, but they say unknown. I know, but at the same time, he was telling us, he was setting us up. he used this particular section to give us like a run, a race. See, the Christian race is not a sprint. It's a marathon. Anybody here ever ran a marathon? You ran a marathon? Okay, good. Raise your hand. Give her praise because she ran a marathon. I mean, you have no idea what it's like to run 26 miles and finish. Not just start, finish. Anybody ran a mile? Okay, you ran a mile, so you know what it's like to run a mile. Now think about what it's like to run 26 of them. That's what it is in the Christian faith. We are in a race. We are in a race, and the time is Jesus is the author and finisher. We should keep our eyes on him. We're going to get tired. We're going to get weary. We're going to have trials. We're going to have tribulation. It's more like a triathlon. It's not like a marathon, because with triathlon you go over obstacles. You swim water. You do different things to get to the end of that race. But a marathon, all you're doing is running. I am so amazed at anybody that can run 26 miles at a 5-minute clip per mile and finish, and then walk around like ain't nothing happened. You're not hearing me. 26 miles, let's see, how far is that? From here to New York? Or halfway? 50? It's a ways. Let's just put that out there like that. It's a ways. And it's not a sprint. Paul said in Philippians 3:14, he was going to press forward to the upward call. And he was going to press. That's what the marathon is. It's a pressing. Sure, you just put one step in front of the next, but you're keeping your eyes on Jesus. He's the author and finisher of your faith, because now you know what he did. I can do certain things through him who give me my strength. I can't do it on my own. We can't live this Christian life by ourselves. We need one another. We need the blood of Jesus daily. And we need the fellowship. A lot of times we don't do what we need to do. You're not going to run a race listening to a lecture, watching a movie, reading a book, or cheering at the game. You got to get in the race. And if you have accepted Jesus, you're in the race. And everybody here at Strait Gate, I just want you to know what Paul did. He never quit. He never turned back. He would not give in. He would not give up. And he would not throw in the towel. Once Paul on that Damascus road said Jesus, he put everything he had into that particular situation where he wanted to know everything about his Lord and Savior. I today stand here convicted that if you see me, you ought to be looking for Jesus. All right. Because no way I can be up here unless he called me. Amen. Anybody here was looking for Jesus? Yeah. I wasn't looking for Jesus, he was looking for me. He found me. Now I believe him. I want to know everything it is to know about my Jesus. I read his word. I study the people that were before me. I understand what he said when you study the cloud that was before you. We had a great cloud. That was Moses. That was Joshua. There were so many that went ahead of us that never saw the promise. Yes, right. Moses didn't even get to the promised land. A lot of times we want God to give us something. Bishop was talking last week about getting a breakthrough. Something that happened in 24 hours. I saw that. Yes. When you don't know that you're going to get something, and you believe that what he said that Sunday, last Sunday, that you're going to get something, and you got something, I don't know. That's not prophetic, but it is God being God to us. And I saw that, and I told Valerie, I said, I ain't even, you expecting anything? Come on. I ain't expecting nothing. Come on now. So when it came in the mail, I don't even know to open the mail. So when I open the mail, I see something. I said, oh my goodness, here's $1,500. I mean, I'm testifying, but I'm being transparent. I don't know why I got it, but I know it came God. I didn't ask for it. I didn't put in for it. I didn't know where it came from until I read everything, and I know once I went right back to Bishop and what he said, that was a blessing. I'm clueless. And then Valerie just said, oh, praise God. Praise God. When you can do that, then you start to really understand God does things when you don't know He's doing. He already working on our behalf as we stand right in here, right now. So the greatest encouragement comes when we fix our eyes on Jesus. When you know His walk. When you know what He did. He was only here 33 years. But in those 33 years, He never sinned. But He felt everything we feel. He felt everything. He knew our pain because He felt pain. He knew our sorrow because He felt sorrow. Even in His own hometown, they didn't believe it. It was just sorry. He couldn't even do no work in Nazareth. He had to leave Nazareth because they thought He was a carpenter's son. They didn't know that He was the Son of God, came in the body, in the flesh, to redeem mankind. They were looking at it from the human experience. They never saw Him. Even His disciple Thomas didn't believe Him. Everybody said, oh, we taught Jesus. I don't believe that. I'm doubting Thomas. Well, you just with us. We ain't gonna lie to you. I got to see Him for myself. And He did. But Jesus said, why do you doubt, Thomas? You can't doubt. Put your hand here in the side. See my hands with the nails in them. I am who I say I am, and I rose on the third day, and I brought all power with me, and I'm saved from death and hell. I got it with me, and I'm going to heaven. And that's where I want you to be. God is not being God to us if we don't do what we do. So when you feel like you want to give up, when you feel like you can't go no more, get on your knees and look to Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who through whatever He had to go through, got down to get up. He went in that tomb. He went in the tomb, stayed there 3 days. And He rose on that third day with all power. Since He rose that day, the power He has given us through the Holy Spirit we receive. We're doing some amazing things with God in us. We can do all things through God, Christ who strengthens us, right? So I just want to go through something right here. Galatians said, let not grow weary in well-doing. We shall reap if we faint not. We got to go. We got to keep coming. We got to keep doing it. I was sitting here and I was talking to Pastor Lawrence, and they got this great cloud. I left on paper, but anyway, of witnesses that we can look to. As we look to this mother row here, they're here before most of y'all get here. They're at least 20, 30, 40 years older than most of us. They're here religiously serving the God that we serve. And we don't have to look in the book to find a cloud of witnesses. There they are right there. There they are right there. We got a cloud of witnesses right there. They come to church religiously. They worship God religiously. They follow Strait Gate Church and they lift Strait Gate Church up religiously. If you don't see them, there ain't no church. But they're going to be here if it is. That's the cloud that we need to be. We don't have to look into the Bible. We can look right there on Mother's Road. See everything we need to see because their consistency shows us what we can be when we have it. We can't sit around and say, I don't feel good when they're here. We don't have to sit around the clock and go off when they're here. They come because of who they are and who they believe in. They come to fellowship and lift up the name of Jesus religiously. And we need that same thing. Mother William not here. God bless her soul. But she came. She came. That's right. She came. That's right. And I submit to you today, how many of you going to come in here in a wheelchair? How many of you want to get up and come to be with the people of God in a wheelchair and worship God? That I just want you to know that when you really, really love God, you'll make that sacrifice. When you know that God has been all you need, The wheelchair means nothing. I got to go. Yes. That's just an obstacle. I'm coming to God in any way, shape, form, and fashion that I can. As a living sacrifice, acceptable unto God, that's our reasonable service. We're supposed to do that. We're a living sacrifice. God has put his spirit in us. We're supposed to go in the byways and highways, not just stay in the church, the building. We are the church. We are the church of God. We got to go out, bring people to God. Because a lot of people out there that don't know God. I used to think that everybody knew God because I didn't know. Funny how, where you at, you think everybody doing the same thing you doing. You stupid, they stupid. You just saying. Stupid people do stupid things. But once you stop being stupid, you start to do things and you say, well, I was really stupid, wasn't I? It's okay to say you were stupid. Because I was stupid. I didn't know God. I wasn't trying to find him. I wasn't looking for him. I thought life was what it was, doing stupid things. That's right. That's right. Now I don't do stupid things. I try to get to God every chance I get because I don't know the next moment that he might say, Clarence, it's that time to come home. And I'm supposed to be a living example to somebody who is going through what they're going through. Now, we're working addiction. Now, y'all know what I do. But I was thinking about football. Everybody know I play football. I don't know how to play football. I really don't, because I wasn't always this big. And I wasn't always what you think and what you see. But God did some things in me. I couldn't lift weights, but at one time I started to lift 400 or 500 pounds. Ain't no man I know with 400 or 500 pounds, so when I ran into another man, I know he had problems. I'm gonna choke him at 400 or 500 pounds. You learn different things as you get your body to where it needs to be. That's what it was like with football. Okay, so it's like that with church. Right. You got to do your Bible study. Amen. You got the fellowship. You got to still give your tithes and your offering. These are requirements to get stronger in your faith. Yes. You're trying to get stronger. You're going to come to fellowship. You're going to pray. You're going to give. You're going to share. You're going to get service. There's service in here. We got a choir. That's all women choir. For some reason, if I come in here and they ain't here, I might leave. I know God is here. But that choir, y'all need to give a choir a hand just on that one. In this thing that God has given us on this great cloud, and there's things in the great cloud. If you're having problems with your family, you should read about Joseph. All right. You have a problem in your family? Just read about Joseph. You know, just if you think your job is too big for you, anybody think your job too big for you? Then you need to look at Moses. Come on now, Jesus. Look at Moses. Moses had to go get some people that didn't even know. I don't know if you know what it's like to do certain things. If you are tempted to retaliate, look at David. Yes, Lord. What Saul did to David, David could have killed him at any time. Yeah. He would retaliate because he was God anointed. And he did what God wanted him to do. He represented God all the way till he became king. Oh, he had his problem. David was a killing machine, and he had his problem. But God said David was a man after his own heart. That's the only person he said that about in the whole Bible. There's something about David loved God. He worshiped God. He danced naked before God. And all the people. It's funny how you hold back and hear everybody don't know what you've been through. But I've cried more since I started preaching than I think I cried when I was a child. The goodness of God, knowing how great he's been to me, knowing where he brought me from, knowing how he poured into me. There's people here I don't even know that God has helped me to help them, and I don't even know how he got to where he got to. I just do what he say do. If you want to ever be a child of God, just do what he say do. Don't worry about the outcome. The outcome is his. If he give you the opportunity to help somebody, help somebody. Don't worry about how you're going to do what you do. I heard a young lady speak about 2 weeks ago that talked about getting a job, and we didn't even know the people were coming. My God. We didn't know who they was. She had never met them. That's right. She didn't never have an interview. She ain't make no calls.
That's right.
Unless LBG had a job. I don't know. Maybe y'all know something different. This is a person that didn't even know that they were coming to her birthday.
That's right.
They had no business. They weren't part of the Strait Gate. They showed up for that particular purpose. To make sure that God blessed Victoria. How she needed to be blessed. Just like that. That's how that happened. I just have one more for you since we're looking at this cloud. If you're sick and can't get well, you need to look at Job. All right. Look at Job and what happened to him. But God blessed him, restored him. All of the things that we try to do, all we have to do is look at the Old Testament and see how God brought them. That's why they are trying.
Hallelujah.
Through faith. Job's wife said, "Curse God and die."
Come on now.
Don't say that, Valerie. Don't say that, Valerie. I ain't cursing God. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. When you're incapable, he's capable.
Yes.
When you're weak, he's strong. When you don't know, he know it all.
We know it all.
When you're powerless, he all powerful. And when you don't have an answer, he is the answer. Go to him for the answer. If you don't have an answer, we have a God that got everything lined up. I never thought I'd ever see a situation that God hasn't covered it all under his word. The reason we read this word is to know what God is saying. This reflects God. The more we get him in us, the more us we give to other people. Yeah. You got to get God in you so you can give him out to other people. A lot of times I want to give people some of me. I work with guys say things to you they won't say to no other man. I know they wouldn't say it to me if I wasn't working. Right. But I have this new saying of mine. You got any friends, can you bring them? Because if you that stupid, I can get some more of your stupid friends, I can keep a job. I'm just saying. If you can say that to me, and you don't know me, and you're trying to get a rise out of me, can you get about 400 or 500 more y'all and line up downstairs and bring them on up here so y'all can all be stupid so I can keep working? I'm not going to entertain stupidity. I'm past. Plus, I don't own what other people say about it. You let some stuff go by. All you thin-skinned people. If it ain't for you, don't own it. If it ain't for you, don't own it. You can't be talking to me. I'm looking to see who you're talking to. I just happen to be in the area, but it seems like you're making some noise. Let that go right by me. That's why we have this cloud. They did everything when people thought that they wouldn't do. We're sitting there watching Noah build an ark, and everybody around him thought he was crazy. But he saved his family, and then all the other people died. And what it took, how many years? 100 and what? 120 years. He just building on ark. Ain't no rain, never came. Ain't no rain. But consistently doing what God told him to do. That's what perseverance and endurance is. Doing it the way God told you to do it to the end. He knows the outcome. He knows the end from the beginning. You don't know it. Today, if somebody had told me I was preaching, I told them you must be crazy. I got friends right now. I'm sending them some of Evie's YouTube. They're looking at me like, is that you? When did you start believing in God? I said, let me just tell you something. You need to get there. If I'm there, you need to get there. Because I am not playing when it comes to God. He is all I know, he's all I want to know, and he's all I want to do. I want to just serve God and Strait Gate Church in my home. You know, it's one thing as I was reading this scripture, God, he knows what we can do. Man knows what we can do. Man knows what we're capable of. But there's some things God wants you to do that man don't know you can do. God wants you to do the impossible. You're on a mission impossible when God gets into your life. Yeah, you're doing things you never did before. You're doing things people never thought you could do before. No, I'm sitting here watching Evie flag. I get tired of flagging. And I ain't even flagging. I know she doing her thing. But for me to just wave one arm, I might fall. See, you have to put yourself in other people's situation. One of the things I can do is I can't sing. So when that choir go up there, I'm truly blessed. Man. I don't know about y'all, but I'm so glad they sing. I'm so glad that they get us in the worship spirit. I don't know like you know, because that's what we need. The things you can't do, I'm just amazed how God has poured that service into her. How God has poured this service into them. There's so many things we can do for God that we sit back on the sideline and forget that we are supposed to be a servant of God and not just somebody as a spectator. Wow. We get in here, we start spectating, we forget that we just come in and get a service, get fed, and go home and feel good. No, you need to come in here and be a part of this service. Amen. You need to be a part of this church. We need every single body in here to tell somebody about Jesus so we can be overflowing with people coming to this church. It's funny that we do what we do and think this is our home. This ain't our home. We're passing through this church. I know you can't see it just like they couldn't see, when we were building that office. You can't see where we're going. That's between God and Bishop and the vision that he's given him. But this ain't home for me. Amen. I am excited about what God is doing in the Strait Gate Church and where we finna go. Amen. We've been here for a while. They walked around a mountain that they could have went through in a week for 40 years. Whatever it's taking us to do, we got to do unite. He's taking us through that right now, unifying us right now, getting rid of the things we don't need in here right now, so we can go into our next church and be all he wants us to be when we get there. We ain't getting ready, we're going to be ready. We're going in taking, we're going in doing, we're going in lifting, and he's going to get the praise and the glory. That's what he wants out of us. I would add another piece here that, when we start to do things for God, we forget just how good he is. He don't need us. He said, I have these rocks praise me if y'all want me. I don't need y'all. What y'all doing? Y'all think y'all doing something? I just need for you to know who I am and be appreciative as to who I am and come to me knowing what I can do for you. Yes, sir. I just have to say that God is no respecter of person. What he do for Crystal, he'll do for Lawrence. Yeah. What he's doing for the mothers that been here and the father for all these years, he'll do for us. A lot of times you can't see that far. Some people can't see far as their hand. But without vision, he said, my people perish. We need to visualize what God is taking this church. We need to visualize what God is taking our lives. There's people been through stuff here that actually they could write a book about. And people will wonder, how did you get through it? Because God brought them through it, even when they didn't know they could get there. So that's how that goes with that. I got one more thing. Since we're talking about how to persevere and endure. With God, a little is a lot. 2 small fish, barley loaves. He fed 5,000. There was a man that was preaching, went out there and he was going to die. Old lady didn't have nothing but a cup of oil and a little meal. She was going to eat a little food and die. But that little bit fed them for a while. Yes. Yes. With God, that little meal and that oil kept them alive. I don't know what somebody is going through here today. Stay the course. Keep praising God. Keep coming to the church. Keep fellowshipping. Keep doing whatever he's called for you to do, because he's going to take that little bit you're doing and he's going to make that a lot. I just want you to know that. I looked up something the other day. I was just looking up. I looked up what it was to be perseverance, what it is to to endure. When you endure something, you don't know you're going to make it. The person that started the marathon, they have high hopes when they start. But after about 10 miles, you already know you can't get there. It's okay to walk, because you can't make it. The body is not ready. If we're not ready for what God wants us to be, we need to begin to start doing the things that's going to get us ready. By coming to church, by reading His Word, by studying, by fellowship, by prayer, by service, and be a part of the church. Not just a member. It's one thing to be a member, it's another thing to be a part. Active, doing things. I love the ladies back there, the ushers. Amen. Look forward to seeing them. I know one isn't here today, my sister. But I look forward to seeing her, because she has such a spirit. When you see her, make you already know you're in the right spot. You already know you're already in the right spot. Then there's Keith. Y'all, I can't play nothing. Anybody can play something? He make this thing over here. I'm sitting there watching him move them knobs, and he got drums over there. He got horns over there. He got all kinds of stuff over there. And all he got is that computer, and it sounds like an orchestra. He's good at what he do, and he's doing it every week. He's committed to the Strait Gate Church. He comes to choir practice on Tuesday. A lot of times we take things, and I know we busy. But what if God was busy? We always say we busy. What if God was busy? You praying. Why are you praying if you don't think He can do what He's going to do? Or you busy, you on the main line. Got all these songs and all these things. I wouldn't pray if I didn't think God would do it. Believe. You're supposed to believe that God is able to do all things but fail in your life. Amen. He just ain't going to do it when you want to. Sometimes He make us wait, because He got to shape us. If He's no genie in a bottle that you can rub, and every time you get Him, everything happens the way you want to happen. No, that ain't how it works. I need you to go through some trials and tribulation. I went through them. It didn't kill God. It ain't going to kill you. Know that He has a plan for each one of our lives. That plan is going to come to pass, whether you want it to or not. So you might as well get in line with the plan. God, whatever you want today, let it be done in your name, and you get the glory. He wakes you up every morning. You got to talk to Him when you wake up, because there's people that didn't wake up this morning. We come to church and act like we're supposed to have something or receive something and He gives something. We come to worship the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords of the universe. Do you know He's the Almighty God? We approach Him. I approach Him with awe, because I don't deserve what He's doing in my life. I'm amazed. I tell Valerie all the time, God has been so good to me. If you know my story, you'll know that God put me up. God put me up because I could be an example for somebody who won't get up. There's people out there that's going through things that most people would die. He said in His Word, set aside those things that hold you back. It don't have to be a sin that holds you back. It could be something that you holding on to and don't want to let go. It's a lot of things that we do that they call for us to slow us down. We in our race, it's just weighing us down. You got to get rid of some stuff. You got to get lighter. You ain't going to run no faster, but just get rid of some stuff. You got to leave some people behind. You got to stop going some places. You got to stop answering your phone. And you got to stop playing all these games and watching all them crazy shows, because they tell you to watch them on TV. I know somebody watch a bunch of crazy shows. I can't get off none of them. Crazy shows, just something that just gets you hyped and geeked up, and then I got to deal with what you've been geeked up about. That ain't got nothing to do with me, what them people doing on that L&M channel. I don't know what they do over there. Everything they got is emotional. It's all for females. And they stay on that channel. And then when you come in, you got to deal with what they watch. I'm not part of that. L&M and E&M. Strait Gate Church, we want to be known as a people with a heart for God. We want to be with God. We want to worship God. We want to attend communion every Sunday when God has it. We want to sing and praise our God, and we want to worship Him in the spirit and truth. We want our God to know us, and we want Him to know we love Him. We know He loves us. We want Him to know that we love Him. But the only way we can be showing that we love Him is through obedience. There's one thing people all the time, that's one thing to fast every Wednesday. There's another thing to make, that's sacrifice. But obedience is what God tells you to do, and you do it. If He tells me to do something, and I got to go all the way to Cincinnati to do it for somebody that I know I went to school for, whether it's pray, whether it be, whether it's preach, I got to do what He told me to do. Well, I don't want to go to Cincinnati. But I got to go all the way to Cincinnati because somebody that God done told that Clarence can preach want me to come to Cincinnati and preach. And I'm hoping that they don't have to call Evie. She got YouTube. But I got to go to Cincinnati. I got to get in my car. Got to take Valerie because she don't know nobody out there. She got to be stuck like Chuck right next to me. Then I got to go preach this word. Got to preach this word. If she's there, cheering me right along. Because that's me being obedient. Today, Bishop Powell was obedient. He's not here. He could have been here. He could have said no. But through obedience, he went down to D.C. with Pastor Staples. Just obedient. He could be with his wife. He could be here with us. But obedience took him down. And we have to be able to make those sacrifices when God make that call. Don't nobody know when He's going to make that call. When He do, yes, God, I'll do it. Yes, God, count on me. Because I've been counting on Him since I've been born. Can't we do a little something for God and without making anything about it? Can we praise God without actually having to ask us for praise? Can we stand and say, thank you, Jesus? Here's the deal, and we do this. I need everybody here to turn to the next person and go to 4 or 5 people that I love them. Because if you love them, you love God. Love you. I love you. Miss Hayward, I love you, man. I love you. Lawrence, I love you. Keith, I love you. Brent, I love you. That's great. I love you. Howard, I love you, man.
Baby, we love you.
Sunday and Butch Cassidy, I love you guys. You notice I haven't said I love any of you women. I love you, Valerie. Love you, Valerie. I know, I got you. I am done. With love, that's how we serve God. Strait Gate Church, thank you. And be obedient. Make all the sacrifice. Because we need God. Thank you.